Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how easy is it to self-publish a book. Self-publishing is such an empowering process. It's all about you. You control where your book appears, you control the type of book, you control all the different elements to your book's success. But it's also scary when you have that control and that power. With great power comes great responsibility, and it can be very scary when you have to juggle all these tasks at once. Let's make this process a little bit easier for you. By the end of this video, you will learn the importance of keywords and book descriptions, the power of distribution beyond Amazon, and the power that can come when you share your book on your platforms. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. Instead of thinking about a walkthrough in this video, instead of pulling up Amazon's platform and step by step, I really just wanted to talk from the heart. There's so many different topics that people lose sight of when they publish their book. They just miss opportunities. And this is all about the missed opportunities. This is about helping to avoid the pitfalls. The first thing I'll say is there's so many costs that can come through, so many ripoffs that can come through when you're self-publishing your book. Go to Google and just type self-publishing services for authors, or I need help self-publishing my book. There's all these sites that pop up. Are they legitimate? Are they not legitimate? Are they real? Are they not real? Even the ones that are real, sometimes they don't really deliver what you need. They deliver what they think you need, and then you end up spending money on junk services that don't actually deliver results. It's scammy out there, it's scary out there. I'm glad you found this video just so you can understand exactly what you need to do, and then maybe end up hiring the help that you need to really help set your book apart. When I think about professionalism, when I think about setting your book up for success, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. Working with a real professional editor, working with somebody who's worked on books before. Your editing is so important because it's going to help to clarify and clean up all the rough spots in your book. When you think about a book that's been rushed and pushed through and now it's live on Amazon and people are reviewing it, oh, I wish this got a better edit. I wish someone had read this book again. There's so many mistakes in it. Oh, page 42 has a bunch of typos. It's not formatted properly. That's embarrassing. You don't want that. This is the safety net and it's peace of mind. So you want to work with professionals. Another area where you could think about working with professionals is layout and design. Even as somebody design-minded like myself, there's elements of the design process that I'm not good at. There's things that I could do to format the book. I just leave that to experts. I leave that to layout and cover design professionals who do these things for a living every single day. When I think about extra costs for self-publishing, those two steps are so important. And I'm not just saying that you need to go and spend money on those things, but you need to work with professionals, work with people who are really well-versed in those things, because the right cover design or the right clean edit on your draft is going to help you stand apart. It's going to help launch your book to bigger success just from the jump. When you work with those professionals, they're going to work with the right cover files. They're going to work with the right layout files. You eventually want your book to be in PDF form or doc or docx. There's a couple other formats that are possible to upload, but those are really the biggest, most popular ones is PDF and doc or docx, Microsoft Word. Those files are going to be crucial. It can be cumbersome and scary when you're doing this stuff for the first time. And that's why I kind of recommend working with somebody who's done it before, because, and then there's other issues that come into play for other files. A lot of times when you're working with Kindle, specifically for ebooks, the file that's used a lot of times is called an EPUB file, and it's like infinite scrolling. It's a different kind of file. I typically don't use EPUB files myself. I work with people who use EPUB files, but I don't use the files myself. It's interesting to think of that balancing act of these are the things that you can do by yourself, and you certainly can. If you want to design the book in Pages, you can do that. It's possible. I've done that before. But I would say layout, design, editing are three steps where the professionalism really stands out. Another area of focus for you is keywords and descriptions. How is the book defined on the page? When someone clicks on a link to learn more about the book, how is it described? It really should follow a certain format. Something punchy at the top, some blurbs or excerpts or endorsements, something establishing the high quality of this book and what the reader's going to get out of it. In just a couple sentences. This doesn't need to be super long. People have a short amount of time, short attention span to really get excited. So you really want to think about wowing them from the get-go, right away, getting into the best stuff, getting into the things that they're going to learn and take away from this, and how this book is going to transform their life. Keywords too. How are people going to find your book? If you don't use the right keywords and you don't use the right categories within platforms like Amazon, it's going to be that much tougher. I've been working with a sports book writer recently, and their book was in all of the wrong categories on Amazon. Personality disorders. It wasn't the right category. It's an interesting category, and he ranked 22nd for that category in top sales, but it wasn't the right category for his book. So even though people might be finding the book, it's not the right people finding the book. And that's the problem. You need to think about getting the right people to find the book. And they can do that through categories where you actually go through and list like which 3 categories this should be listed in. And then keywords. And keywords are phrases. You know, sports books, great sports books, books about medieval, terminology, something. And these descriptions come through in a couple ways, iconic sports books, underdog sports book stories. And these little strings of words, what are the things that people are going to search for that you want them to find your book as one of the results? Think about it that way. Think about really standing out, but it requires you to know what this book is, who the audience is, and what their takeaway is. It requires you to really unlock the power of it. Another important step is distribution. When people think about distribution and publishing their book, they often think about Amazon. Amazon is the most popular bookseller in the world. 55% of book sales happen on Amazon's platforms. But what about the other 45%? What about bookstores? What about libraries? You want your book to appear in as many places as possible, which is why it's so important to, in addition to uploading on Amazon, to also upload on sites like Ingram Spark for outside distribution. So when you go to the bookstore and buy a copy of a book, that book sale is registered through Ingram Spark. It's not registered through Amazon. Yes, you can go to your Amazon Author Central page and see the book sale a week and a half later on your page. It updates every Friday. But at the same time, that book sale is not happening through Amazon. Your local bookseller is not buying books through Amazon. People are. People are buying books through Amazon. Distributors and libraries and bookstores, all these places are buying books through Ingram Spark and other sites like it. I want to go back to the central core message of this video though, which is your book, your message, your power, your story. You own the rights to this book, and it's up to you to make the most of this opportunity. It's up to you to carry this forward. You're going to get what you put into this. If you do it the right way, you're going to get what you put in, but you need to put in and keep putting in and keep going and keep pushing the book and keep believing. I think about my friend Jonathan Stanley. Jonathan self-published his book. It was called Purposeful Performance. It came out in the fall of 2024. And it was well received. It got a lot of good reviews, a lot of good endorsements, and he kept pushing and believing in his book. He kept posting on LinkedIn about it and going to book signings and book events. He went to a book signing at a bookstore in Pennsylvania in February of 2025, so about 6 months after the book launched. He went to this book signing and he sold, 4, 5, 10 copies, whatever. Not a huge number, but he kept believing in it. When he was at this book signing, this book event at the Barnes & Noble, this woman and her daughter walked up to his table and talked to him and bought a book. And the woman recorded video of him at this book event and posted it on TikTok. And it went super viral. He had, within a couple of days, 750,000 TikTok followers. He was interviewed by the Washington Post. He appeared on the Today Show as a video. He was interviewed by networks, Inside Edition. There were so many different things that unlocked from this. And he sold 10,000 copies of his book in a week. He was number 9 on the Amazon bestseller list for paperback nonfiction for this one specific week. He was outselling Dr. Seuss for a little bit. I was super proud of him. It was really the culmination of all of his effort, and it was really a reflection of what happens when it goes right. If he had not done the work to get it done properly, if he didn't have a great book, if he didn't keep pushing it, none of this would have happened. All these things needed to fall into place in order to see the results. It's not just the viral moment, it's everything else. You know, it's just not attention. It's putting yourself in position to succeed. If you can do that by working with the right people, if you can do that by pushing your book in the right places, and you can do that by keep believing in your book, good things can happen, but you need to keep believing and you need to keep going. If you want to learn more about how easy is it to self-publish a book, I'd love to talk. I'd love to meet with you and learn more about your book and offer some tips and input and insight and help in any way I can. So head to my website. It's goodghostwriter.com. You can click the link below. Let's chat. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.